Back here at the KRFP studios live at KRFP Moscow. It's 8 minutes after 7. We got another half hour with city council candidates Dan Carscallen and Aaron Ament. They are two of the four candidates running for the 3 open seats on the Moscow City Council. The other candidates are Wayne Krause and Tom Lamar, who you heard from Monday here on Radio Free Moscow. And if you missed it, you can download or listen on a pop-up player on the Radio Free Moscow website to that candidates forum, which was a call-in forum as well. And the phone number right here at the radio station, 892-9200. We're looking forward to hearing from members of the public who might want to talk to these candidates. And the next question will go to Dan Carscallen first. And the question is, how is the issue of poverty on the Palouse to be dealt with?
You know, I think that we're hopefully doing a good job of working with outfits like the Sojourners Alliance and helping them out. Our Fair and Affordable Housing Commission, along with our Human Rights Commission, do a good job of bringing that to the fore, so we all know, you know, what we're dealing with, and you know, we just have to do what we can as a city, and you know, as the citizens of Moscow to help those outfits to make sure that we can take care of the folks out there that need the help when they need it.
And that was Dan Carscallen, and now Aaron Ament.
Once a year, nonprofit groups come before the city of Moscow, the city council, and are awarded grant money. I think rather than the cuts that have been going to that program and the fact that they're making it more difficult for people to get that grant money, I think that probably that's a place that we could increase our grant money, since the very people that are there asking for the money are the people that are on the front lines of trying to deal with poverty and with other issues that aren't dealt with by Idaho government, and that Moscow city government doesn't have the resources to deal with. So those programs that we have in place, I know that we worked with a developer when I was on council to put in some low-income housing. When those projects come up, then we just have to try and see that they happen. Yeah.
Okay, that was Aaron Ament, and the next question will go to Aaron Ament first. The phone number is 892-9200. There's a new ordinance. Fingerprints are required now for pawnbrokers or anyone who sells second-hand items in the town. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, I'll share one of my constituents' thoughts on that, and that was the fact that the pawnbrokers that take in very few CDs and don't sell a ton of CDs will indeed have to go through a lot of red tape, while another business that does most of the work with CDs, Hastings out at the mall, will not, just due to the way that the law goes, because they sell books or something else that allows them not to be subject to the fingerprinting for that on those issues.
Okay, and that was Aaron Ament, and now Dan Carscallen.
I think it's never a bad thing to make sure that we're all above board when we deal with something. I've been fingerprinted several times, just in the last 4 years. I had to do it to become an EMT. I had to do it when I became a council member to be able to go unescorted in the police station. I figure if you've got nothing to hide, you shouldn't have a problem with it.
Okay, 892-9200. Let's see. This will go to Dan Carscallen first. There was a proposal to require bike parking at new developments in town. That ordinance was defeated. Your views on that and issues of bike parking in general?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any bike parking. I think that we were looking at the wrong places. A lot of folks that came in testifying in favor of it were talking about more bike parking downtown, which there is no the ordinance had nothing to do with bicycle parking downtown. It was only to do with new developments. And I think that a smart developer is going to realize what he's dealing with here in Moscow and that he should put in bike parking. A lot of the things are that you need to talk to the bicyclers to where you need to put the bike parking, because I've seen a lot of places that have put bike parking in that is unused because, if I've got a $2,500 bicycle, I'm not going to want to have to park it over along the side of the building. I want it out where I can see it.
That was Dan Carscallen, and now Aaron Ament on the bike parking.
This is another instance of the growing inability of government to have any sort of compromise. I believe planning and zoning worked nearly a year on the ordinance. When it came up to the city council, it was just tossed. I think that is the issue, is the same issue with the large-scale retail establishment ordinance, that the planning and zoning tries to come up with a plan that speaks to all the people of Moscow and tries to do something for all the people of Moscow, and the present city council just ignores their work.
And that was Aaron Ament. And the next question will go to Aaron Ament first at 892-9200. We do have a caller, so go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Street protest downtown on Friendship Square right now.
Could you start over again? I'm sorry.
We have an Occupy Wall Street protest downtown on Friendship Square right now. Elsewhere in the country, police violence against protesters has gone beyond the bounds of civilized behavior towards citizens that are exercising their legal rights. I would like a yes or no answer. Would you forbid such action by the Moscow Police Department?
Okay, that goes to Aaron Ament first.
Yes, I would try. That's a tough yes or no question. I mean, you don't want your police pulling out their batons and beating on people in any circumstance. So you could say that you could forbid them to do it, and you could say that they shouldn't do it without cause. And I believe that we're fortunate in our town that our police would not use force without cause.
That was Aaron Ament, and now Dan Carscallen.
Yeah, I think forbid's a strong word. I think that we got to allow our police to work with, within what's going on in the situation. I think that we've seen that our department has been nothing but polite and easy to work with the current oversized load protesters. There's been a couple arrests, and but there hasn't been any since then. Other than another one just a couple weeks ago. But still, very few for as many people have been out there. And I don't think that there's been any problems with any sorts of protests that have been going on down in Friendship Square, because I know there's been the peace protests since, probably for the last almost 8 years now. So obviously they're getting along with the PD, and we'll have to call them Moscow's finest, because that's what they are.
And that was Dan Carscallen. The phone number is 892-9200. I have a related question. Has the city received a response from Mammoet, the hauler of the ExxonMobil tar sand shipments, on their request for reimbursement for police overtime due to policing the megaload protesters?
Are you starting? Is it my turn first?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't heard anything yet. I asked about it earlier today, and we haven't heard back from Mr. Bland at Mammoet, and hopefully we'll hear something positive, because they were initially the ones that said, if you would like reimbursed, send us a request for such.
Okay, that was Dan Carscallen, and now Aaron Ament.
And since I was not involved, let me answer this. Go to this too. Kind of to the last question, along with this question. Our police chief, when they were talking about reimbursement for overtime hours, requested that they not be under contract with Mammoet, because he wanted the ability to make the calls in his community, that is our chief of police, on what was needed to maintain safety, and not to be at the beck and call of a corporation. And I applaud that decision.
Okay, that was Aaron Ament. Phone number is 892-9200. The next question will go to Aaron Ament first, and it's sort of related. The university made a decision to reduce their contract with the Moscow Police Department during the last couple of years and hire a private security firm. How do you feel that has affected policing in the city of Moscow?
Well, I think that was a short-sighted thing for the university to do, put the city down a couple officers. But I believe that those will be getting 2 officers back due to a new COPS program that was just approved. So, yeah, it was. I don't think that it was a good move by the university. I think quite often the university doesn't consider the city when it takes the actions that it does, and that's too bad.
That was Aaron Ament, and now Dan Carscallen.
Aaron's correct in that we are going to see 2 new police officers due to that COPS grant from the federal government, and there were some tense moments there when this whole university security thing was going on, and it was a little bit hard getting along with some of those folks there for a while, but I think we've moved past it. I'm still not a big fan of, they're doubling up or they're cutting with their contract with us, the funding that we were using to fund our police force and to fund our university policing officers. I don't think that you're going to find that we've reduced any of our coverage to campus. We've adapted, and we're going to continue to adapt because that's what our police department does, and our chief is doing a good job of it.
Okay, that was Dan Carscallen, and we are starting to wind down. We have Dan Carscallen and Aaron Ament in the studios, both running for Moscow City Council. The other 2 candidates are Wayne Krause and Tom Lamar. Vote for up to 3 when you cast your ballot November 8th, and the top 3 vote getters get on the council to join Tim Brown, Sue Scott, and Walter Steed. So, the next question will go to Dan Carscallen first, and there was a request made at one point for the City Council to consider highway damage due to megaloads and possibly ask for reimbursement. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, we're talking about the state highway. It's ITD's responsibility through there. Hopefully they've taken the steps that they need to take in order to make sure that they can pay for any damage that takes place. The only thing is, I think that if you look at what's coming through and the amount of axles underneath it, I don't think we are putting as much ground pressure on with these oversized loads as you would with the chip trucks that come through town on a daily basis. And as far as feeling these trucks go by, I was surprised at the few times I've been down there that you don't feel these loads going by like you do an empty chip truck even. It's odd and unusual, and it's a little underwhelming.
Okay, that was Dan Carscallen, and now Aaron Ament.
The thing is that the damage that is done to our roads might not show up till after the loads are done being hauled, and once that happens, there will be no reimbursement from the hauler. I think that they will work this the way they work everything, that the burden of proof will be with the city or with the state to prove that it was their trucks that damaged the roads. I don't think that that burden of proof will be able to be met, and once again the citizens will be subsidizing big oil.
892-9200 if you have questions for these candidates, Aaron Ament and Dan Carscallen. The next question will go to Aaron Ament first. The Intermodal Transit Center plan that's about to go through, is that a good investment, and what about the plan for maintaining it over the years?
I hope that's a good idea. Hopefully that something like that might help in some way, having that facility to getting bus service maybe between Moscow and Pullman. Maybe it'll help solidify our bus service here in Moscow. I know that it would be nice for Valley Transit to come up and be Moscow Transit. So I'm looking forward to that. And I have to say that I am not aware of the maintenance program that's been going in. I did hear the work of the council. I'm glad that we will be able to retain a stake in the building after the land lease is passed.
And that was Aaron Ament, and now Dan Carscallen.
Yeah, I agree that it's a good investment. I've been in support of it since it was first proposed. This is money that if it doesn't get spent here, it's going to get spent somewhere else. So I think that if we can use it and do good things with it, as far as moving Valley Transit up here to be based in Moscow, because they're not doing anything in Lewiston anymore, so we might as well have them up here and have a place for them, and that would be our Moscow transit system.
Okay, that's Dan Carscallen. We have Aaron Ament and Dan Carscallen in the studios. Let's go to 892-9200. You are on the air with Radio Free Moscow.
Yeah, hi. This is Brett Haverstick in Moscow, Idaho. And my question for both gentlemen in the studio tonight, what is the probability of a bypass being built around the city of Moscow so that whether it be megaloads or chip trucks or other really large vehicles, instead of coming through the heart of our community, what does the future of the city look like as more and more traffic and larger vehicles come through our downtown community?
Thank you for that question. We'll go to Dan Carscallen first.
Yeah, that potential bypass, or their folks have called it ring road. I like the term orbital distributor because it sounds more important and is fun to say. I like the idea that we have in our comprehensive plan. We've been talking about it for at least the last 10 years when I started attending the Moscow Transportation Commission meetings as a representative of the North Latah County Highway District, and I think a bypass has been talked about for years before that. Studies have been done. There's folks downtown that would like to see it, but also would not want to see it. It's very interesting. I am not sure we'll see it in some people's lifetimes, but I hope we'll see something to that effect. If nothing else, a truck route within my lifetime.
And that was Dan Carscallen, and now Aaron Ament.
Well, I have mixed feelings when it comes to laying down another long strip of asphalt, but I do think that a bypass would be very beneficial to our city. I pushed for that bypass during my time on council, and one of the first phone calls that I'll make after a successful campaign will be to the regional ITD director to talk about that bypass. I don't think that we need a ring road. That's too much. I think that a bypass would be of benefit to the city of Moscow, of great benefit. Probably be a renaissance to our downtown.
And that was Aaron Ament. It's last chance for callers. The phone number is 892-9200 if you want to ask a question of Aaron Ament or Dan Carscallen. Otherwise, I'll just ask this last question. Do you have unfinished business on the council? And I know you haven't served for a number of years, but Dan is an incumbent. But tell me if you feel you have unfinished business.
Am I first?
Aaron Ament is first.
I'd like to continue working on making sure that the community is involved in those decisions that affect them most. I'd like to strengthen the community meeting before residential development. I'd like to see some teeth put back into the ordinance taking care of commercial development. and I keep hearing that this design manual is the size of a phone book, and I pulled a couple copies out, and if I set 2 or 3 of them on top of each other, they get up to about the number of pages as a good comic book. So I really don't think that it's that onerous. Yeah, that's enough.
Okay, that's Aaron Ament, and now Dan Carscallen, unfinished business.
I think that we need to move forward on our reservoir plan. That I'm not sure whether we'll finish it even in the next term should I be reelected. It's a matter of, one of the things I'd like to see us do is continue with our increasingly good relationship with the University of Idaho. There was tense there for a while when the police contract was renegotiated. And the university wasn't on their own as far as that went. They had to deal with the State Board of Education and everything money's getting tight all over the world, and I can understand some of what they're coming from, but they don't seem to be saving a lot of money with what they're doing. But I would like to see us, increase our police force. There's a lot of things that are starting right now with the water comprehensive plan, the sewer comprehensive plan. I'd like to see those get finished before my next term is up.
Okay, KRFP Moscow, we're going to give each candidate up to 2 minutes for closing statements, and as we decided with the coin flip at the beginning, Aaron Ament would go first for the closing statement, and then we'll have Dan Carscallen, and these are 2 of the 4 candidates running for the 3 open seats on the Moscow City Council. So Aaron, take it away.
Well, I would just going to start off. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, KRFP, for being here and being our great local news source. I want to work during the next 4 years to maintain and to increase the citizen voice in government. We have a great city. I would like to see it stay that way. That's my first goal. There are a lot of projects that need to be worked on. We have a light industrial area going into the south of town that needs to be looked at. As we proceed with our city, with the principles, smart growth principles, we'll be doing a lot of infill in our community. And when we do that, that's when we really have to involve the community in those projects. So I'd appreciate your support on November 8th. We need to have a little bit of balance in our city government. I like the fact that our mayor has worked to try to make this a sustainable community. I would like to join her. I'd like to help her do that, to keep Moscow the great place it's been for me, so that those who follow can enjoy it just as much.
That was Aaron Ament, and now Dan Carscallen, your closing statement.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you again, Lee, for having us here. These are always fun to show up to and learn how to put headphones on and talk in microphones. I appreciate everybody's support the last election, and I hope to get it again this time. There's a lot of unfinished business. There's things we've started in my first 4 years that I'd like to get done. I'd like to see us finish this ball field project, whether it be at West Blue River Drive or whether it be a joint project with the school district, Joseph Street. We got a lot of kids in this town that need places to play their organized sports, whether it be football or baseball or lacrosse or whatever you have. I think we're doing a good job with the current council. We all get along. We might not vote. Everybody on there's been at the one end of a 5-1 vote, but we move on to the next topic and we always move forward. And I think I'd like to see us keep moving forward and to continue moving forward with the city of Moscow. I'd appreciate everybody's vote on November 8th.
Okay, that was Dan Carscallen, and that concludes our 2 candidates forums. We had one on Monday and one on Wednesday. There are 4 candidates running for Moscow City Council: Aaron Ament, Dan Carscallen, who you've heard from tonight, Wayne Krause, and Tom Lamar, who you heard from Monday night. And if you did not, you can listen to that forum on the Radio Free Moscow website, either via download or a pop-up player. The Green Gypsy is waiting patiently to come on the air. Since we're about 5 minutes behind, we'll give her an extra 5 minutes at the end of her 1 hour show. Remember, you can vote for up to 3 candidates when you vote on November 8th. The winner gets a 4-year term. The winners will join Tim Brown, Sue Scott, and Walter Steed, who all have 2 years left in their terms on the Moscow City Council. Mayor Nancy Cheney also has 2 years left in her term, and she breaks ties and presides over the council. You can vote on Tuesday, November 8th. Polls will be open 8 a.m. until 8 p.m., and all indications are the polling place will be as they have been in past city elections at the 4-H building of the Latah County Fairgrounds on the east side of town, across White Avenue from Safeway. Tuesday next week, the last day to request a mailed absentee ballot. Thursday next week, the last day to vote absentee in person at the Latah County Courthouse Auditor's Office. Remember, if you show up at the polls on Election Day, you do not have to be pre-registered to vote. You can bring a picture ID and proof that you lived at your current address for at least 30 days, and you will be able to vote under Idaho law. And Power Bill is a suggested thing for proof of residency at your current address. Also on the ballot, November 8th, Moscow School District, $1.97 million continuing levy increase for people living in the Moscow School District, which includes all of the city of Moscow. I'm Lee Robardes. Have a good night. Stand by for music and entertainment. Radio Free Moscow, 92.5.